Hi all, Amanda Phillips here with my resource walkthrough for the week. After exploring a variety of tools, websites, and games, I decided to share my insight on the resource Amplify Fractions, and that's the home page that I'm on now. This is a conceptually based resource that connects really beautifully and is super applicable to my targeted grade levels, which are grades 4 and 5, as well as my targeted topic for this course, which is fractions and decimals. So already I love off the bat that it is all focused on fractions. And it even gives you a little blurb on why that's so important. So this resource hits on a lot of standards, and more specifically, after going through the homepage, I kind of dove into one of the resources that's called the daily fraction. So the daily fraction is going to connect to Nebraska standards under numeric relationships, having students compare whole numbers, fractions, and mixed numbers through the thousands place, comparing them using greater than, less than, or equal to, also rounding whole numbers and decimals, because we'll be able to make that connection between fractions and decimals, and be able to start to use different operations with fractions as well. As many of you know, I teach outside of Northwest Washington, D.C., and we follow the Common Core standards. So Amplify Fractions, and more specifically the daily fraction, is going to connect right here with solving real-world problems involving multiplication of fractions and mixed numbers, and really focusing in on using visual fraction models or equations to represent the problem. That is a huge focus for me this year, multiple representations. So if we go back to the daily fraction, this connects because one of my big professional goals for the school year has been my commitment to implementing number talks as a way to start my math workshop. It's been something I've really been diligent with these last few weeks, and it's been incredible watching my mathematicians grow as critical and flexible thinkers, building off each other's learning, gaining confidence, being risk takers, they're problem solving together. And after the readings this week on mathematical discourse, my follow-up goal is really trying to help them become better listeners while others are sharing how they approached a problem. So if we take a look at the daily fraction, my thoughts on using this are as another way to do a number talk. So if we click on one example, a problem will arise, and I love that it already has a visual, so they're connecting a fourth to fourth quarter, also to a visual. And if we slide through, we'll see that fractions can be represented in different ways. So we had a rectangle, we have a number line, we have another number line, and I like that the answer choices are showing fractions in multiple ways. Okay, other shapes. I think often children see fractions in one way only, so this is also going to help them think of fractions flexibly. And here we have one section, a fraction of a fraction. Okay, so you can see that there's a variety, and that's just a sample of the daily fraction. But what I'm planning on using, like I said, these as part of my number talk, and I think it would be helpful for students to be able to see multiple representations of fractions, but I'm also wondering how I can tweak these to make them more open-ended. And I'm thinking with teacher questioning or prompting, or even having these students take a look at one question and asking them, to use this same setup, but how could they rewrite the problem? Or if the answer was the fourth quarter, what could the question have been? So just being able to take these slides and go a little bit deeper with student thinking would be one of my goals. But I'm excited to give it a shot next week with my fifth graders, and also be able to share it with other elementary math teachers as my school's math coach. Hopefully you found this helpful, and I'd love to hear how you're using it in your class. Have a good one.